Do you realize that some of the undesirable behaviors that your child may be exhibiting can be related to poor gut health? In some of our kids who are very young and are unable to verbally communicate, or children with disabilities who have limited verbal abilities, sometimes the first sign of poor gut balance is a change in behavior. Behaviors like aggression, increased fatigue, irritability, or even guarding and not allowing themselves to be touched can all be signs of poor gut health. My name is Erica Smith, and I'm a licensed naturopathic physician. I help kids thrive through illness without medications or harsh interventions. Most of the kids that I treat have chronic conditions like autism, ADHD, Lyme, PANS, and PANDAS. Some of them also have learning disabilities. But this advice is applicable for all kids. Learning how to optimize gut health is a goal of a lot of families. But how do you know if your kid has chronic conditions? How do you know if your kid has any gut imbalances? There's some obvious signs which we're going to go over, and there's a couple signs that are not so obvious. One of the obvious signs is poor elimination. If you think about when your kids were babies, every time they ate, shortly thereafter, they would have a healthy elimination. Eat, eliminate. Eat, eliminate. That's sort of how it should go. But as kids get older and are eating more foods, we sort of get used to kids not having as many eliminations. I like for the goal to be that children have an elimination, a nice healthy elimination at least once a day, preferably twice a day. But a sign of poor gut balance is if your child is skipping days without having a bowel movement. The other thing is to look at stool quality, and this is where it kind of gets a little gross. But you may have to actually look at your kid's stool after they go to the bathroom in the toilet. I'll put here the Bristol's scale. We want to make sure that your child stays around a 4 or a 5. If their stool is less than that, that could be a sign of gut imbalance. And if their numbers are higher than that, that can also be a sign of gut imbalance. So the goal is to be nice, well-formed stools a couple times a day. Another obvious sign is if a child is having a lot of bloating. Children, I know when they're little and they have the cute pudgy bellies, we kind of get used to that pudge. But if your child's stomach is not soft, if it's hard, particularly after eating, that can be a sign of gut imbalance. Another one that we don't like to talk about is if the stool is extremely foul smelling. Of course, stool is never going to smell great. It's not going to smell like roses, but you should be able to walk into the room after your child has gone to the bathroom. Or you should be able to change the diaper, and if the diaper is still in the room, you should be able to be in the room with the diaper. If the stool is really, really foul smelling, or you notice a change in the smell, then that could be a sign of gut imbalance. Now, a couple of the signs that sometimes we miss because they're not as obvious, like we mentioned originally, aggression or changes in behavior. Another one is inappropriate laughter. If you have a kid who's laughing all the time at all the wrong things, you're getting reports back from school that they're in the back of the class laughing and everyone else is paying attention. Kids who wake up in the middle of the night laughing, that could be a sign of gut dysbiosis as well. Another one that's not as obvious is if a child is itching their genital region a lot. So if they're always itching, they're always putting their hand in their diaper, that's another sign. That's not really quite as obvious. So what are we going to do about it? So the main thing to do is to make sure that our kids are getting enough healthy water, food, fiber every day. We want to make sure that our kids are having healthy eliminations at least once or twice a day. If your child is showing some of the signs above of having gut dysbiosis, there's no reason to worry. Your practitioner should be able to do a stool test, some of which are covered by insurance, and there are some specialty tests which will look in the stool and tell us exactly which microbes are causing the imbalance and give us ideas about how to treat it. Hopefully you found some of the information in this video helpful. Make sure to check out my website, which will be linked below, because there's a lot more information there about how to keep kids healthy naturally. Also make sure to like and subscribe so you can be notified about more content on keeping your kids healthy naturally. See you in the next video.